So we're right around the corner from 4th of July, and I don't know about you, but I didn't do a very good job of preparing my dog this year. It's been kind of a chaotic spring and chaotic summer. So what are we going to do? What are we going to do about that to help our dogs?
I'm Sandra, this is Judy, and we don't want you to lose hope, right? We have a week and a half, which is not a long time, but let's see what we can do within this time to help them feel a little bit better about this holiday.
Few things that we can do that if you're seeing this video on the 3rd of July, you can
Yes,
still implement to help your dog.
yes. We
Definitely.
want to make this doable. We want to make the goals attainable. We want to make it doable. We want to make it practical for you.
Right. And beneficial for your dog.
Yes.
So let's talk about fear a little bit. The fear of sound is called phonophobia. And I'm not sure I can answer this question. So, Sandra, do you have any ideas why dogs are afraid of sound and why sound bothers them so much?
I have a very scientific answer for you, Judy. Who knows? We
Who
don't
knows?
know. We will never know, who can actually understand fear? Who can actually understand why are we afraid of this or that, right?
When our dogs can't really even tell us why. Ask them, they wouldn't be able to tell us.
Yes. And even if they could tell us, you cannot explain it, right?
Right. Right. And I know you've got a fear that I find very interesting because it's something I'm not afraid of. So maybe just telling that story a little bit will give some insight and some thought to it.
So, in a previous life, one of my jobs was to travel around the world and take groups from universities to do study abroad programs in different areas. And at one point, I was a tour guide in the Amazon. So I could deal with snakes and spiders and bats and rats and frogs, but I cannot deal with roaches.
And see, you can deal with the scariest things out there, and then a little roach, which to me it's hard to understand, but I don't need to understand it. I just need to help you with it. And I may end up having to fly down to Miami because I think you have a roach in your laundry room
For two
right
days.
now.
For 2 days.
2.
2 days.
Yes, for 2
Dead.
days. So I may have to fly down to Miami and get that
I'm
roach
waiting
out
for
of your
somebody to
laundry.
pass in front of the house so I can call
So you can grab them and go.
Yes. Yes.
Oh
And
gosh.
how can
Well,
anyone explain that? How can anyone,
no, you can't.
and it's there,
And
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 it's
you know,
there.
fear is involuntary. It's very inconsistent. It's very uncomfortable, and
And
it's
reasonable.
non-negotiable. Yeah, it's unreasonable and it's unnegotiable. I'm not going to try to negotiate with you not to be afraid of the roach, just like you're not going to negotiate with me not to be worried about copperhead snakes that we
Yes.
have in our area. So why bother? Let's just help each other through it.
Yes.
And I think that's really what we need to do with our dogs. And I just to give everybody another thought on this, 30% of dogs have a fear of noise. And interestingly enough, there's sometimes an underlying problem, and that is a pain problem. They may have a toothache, they may have arthritis. I mean, heck, most of us have arthritis, but the vibration of sound can actually be painful. And so, if one time that vibration happened and it was painful, it is now a chronic panic fear of
Yes.
that particular sound or sometimes any sound, and it can happen as quickly as one incident.
Yeah.
So
So
we have
what,
things to help, right?
yes. And people talk about fixing. Let's fix this and let's
Hmm.
fix that. Can we actually fix anything? I don't think we can fix, like you cannot fix my fear of roaches, right? But you can try
Right,
to make it better, and you can try to make
right.
it that how can I cope? And that's the thing. That's what I
Hmm.
need from the people around me with that is
Right.
how can we cope? And this is
Yes.
something that we are going to try to do with our dogs in this very short period that we have. We have
Yes.
a week and a half. And everybody said, oh, you
Right.
should have done this and you should have done that. Yes, you should have done many things,
You
but you
should have
haven't.
done lots of things. Yeah.
Right?
We don't live on what we should have done. We just have to do what's in the moment right now.
Yes, yes. And we don't have time to train. We don't have time to
Mm-mm.
desensitize. We don't have time to counter condition in this thing.
Right.
What can we actually do? So we are going to go over three main things, so three main groups of
Ideas.
stuff that we
Hmm.
can actually do. The first thing that
Right.
I want to talk about is um, sound, right? Dogs are
Hmm.
afraid of sound. So with the thunder,
Right.
when the fireworks, in this case, is you have to do something about the sound. So I tried
Yes.
with Maya, I tried cotton balls in her ears. I tried mud
Right.
marks. I tried all these things and nothing worked. I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
And then one day, as I was doing the cotton ball and all this, and she's looking at me asking for help, I'm barefoot. When I'm barefoot and I hear the firework, I can feel the vibration under my feet.
Right. Yeah.
Sound is just one of the things, right? This dog is
Right.
feeling something from underneath that I did not know,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
So I
Yes.
wanted to talk about where do dogs go? Like if you have a dog that is
Mhm.
afraid of sounds, it's afraid of vibration and all that stuff,
Right.
where does your dog go when your dog is afraid of sound?
Well, and I'll tell you where my dog goes. My dog goes to the shower. And I think a lot of that is due to it's a very stable piece of the home.
No
It
window
doesn't move as
usually.
much,
Yeah.
no window. But that's where she goes. Does Maya go anywhere specific?
Maya picked the closet. And
Okay, so you can't get to your clothes and we can't take a shower. So we both
and I
kind of
can
have
go
a
to my
hard time
laundry
with
room.
that. Yeah, yeah.
Yes.
Now you can't go.
Now
We
I
have
can
all
go to the
kinds of
laundry room.
problems, Sandra.
And and I have a client, and this is where she picked, right? So this is where she feels safe. So I'm not going to reinvent the whole thing. She picked that. And I was working with a client the other day, and her little dog, tiny little thingy, what where he picked is he doesn't want to go in the closet, doesn't want to go to the room. He wants to stay in the living room. However, he doesn't have a station. So he paces and paces and paces and moves. He cannot fit under the couch. So what
Looking for
we
a
did in
safe
that
place.
case,
Yeah.
we did instead of a sanctuary room, we found a sanctuary spot. So I got the side table. We covered the
Mhm.
side table with a sheet, right? Put a
Okay.
bed underneath. Voila.
Right.
You know,
Yes.
so it doesn't have to be
Yeah.
a room, doesn't have to be this. He picked it
Right.
there, we put it there. These people were so kind to their dogs that they were okay
Yes.
making the living room look like not so good, right? But
That's
the
okay. It's only for a little while.
yes. Now, one
So,
sorry.
with the vibration, was that room carpeted or was it a hard surface?
So after I found out that the vibration comes from underneath,
Mhm.
right? If the room is not
Right.
carpeted, the best thing that you can do is get yoga mat and put the yoga mat under the bed. You can put the
That's
yoga
nice.
mat under
Yeah.
the bed. The closet, Maya's
Hmm.
closet. It's
Elias closet. Yeah.
it has the yoga mat under, right? Because everything is wood, right? Even if you have carpet, I would actually put the yoga mat under. And
Oh, you can't
if
have too
you
much.
yes, if you decide to use a crate, the only way for you to use a crate if your dog has phobias or anxiety is to tie
Hmm.
the door open.
Yes, the door cannot be closed
Not
because
even by
a
mistake.
door being closed with a panicked, fearful, sound sensitive dog only creates a panic and then they can't get out.
Can you
And that's so
imagine?
scary. And I
Yes,
know you put the yoga mat underneath
under the
when you
crate.
do that.
Yeah.
But something that also comes to mind, I like to do soundproofing. I actually have a sound studio in my home.
Oh, wow.
And if a dog, and one of the best soundproof rooms that you can use in your home is a closet because there's clothes hanging all around the walls and that gives you that buffering.
Yes.
If your dog likes a small room that's not a closet with clothes hanging up, you can buy sound blankets that you can hang on the walls and even
Nice.
on
I
the
didn't know
door.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really neat. I'll put a link to those in the comment section underneath this video or the description under the video
Yeah.
because those work really, really well too, and they're really reasonable. And
Yes. I
heck,
didn't know
I don't
that.
care what it costs to help them. Yeah,
The other thing
yeah.
is competing sounds, right? So
Hmm.
if the dog is afraid of, so the first thing is sanctuary room, sanctuary space, right?
Right,
Let's cover that ground with yoga mats. Pick follow the
right.
dog wherever the dog feels safe. Follow the dog and make that. Then you move on to sounds, right? So you want
Hmm.
to compete with the
Right,
sound that is there. If the dog is
right.
afraid of fireworks, you're not going to put something that is louder or more hectic than that because you want the
Yeah.
dog to soothe. You want to help the dog
You want
soothe.
to. reduce that heart rate, reduce that
Yes.
tension and
Yes.
anxiety that some of these louder, more intense sounds will create and add to.
Yes. So
Definitely.
one thing that I tried so many things with Maya, and she's such a great school because nothing works, with
Mhm.
her.
Right, right.
So
She's
the
your toughest case.
yeah, she's like a best thing. So calming music for dogs really did not work for her. It went to a point that she would shake off and walk away.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I tried
Done.
many different things, but one thing that I found out on YouTube is that if you pick whatever band you like, right? So I am a Pink Floyd, Guns N' Roses person, right? So you have Guns N' Roses. If you write on YouTube Guns N' Roses and then lullaby, voila, you have hours and hours of beautiful Guns N'
Oh,
Roses music. Calm down for babies. So you
right.
can do Guns N' Roses lullabies, you can do Guns N' Roses for
Mhm.
babies, Nirvana,
Yeah.
Metallica, AC/DC, whatever
Oh,
it is.
whatever you want. I just looked up some country music. There's country music
Yes.
lullabies. What's really
Beatles.
funny is Beer and Sunshine,
Yeah.
Drink are all baby lullabies now. Would you think of that? I would have never thought. Thanks, Sandra.
Yeah. So I love that. Well, I have to find whatever, I could. And then, but when
Yeah,
you do that, when you go on YouTube and you pick that, make sure that it's not like one song, right? So you have Guns N' Roses, Stairway to Heaven for babies. So that is one song. After that
right.
song is finished, what happens? Commercials, advertisement.
Yes,
Advertisement is
yes,
loud. That's why I don't like to
yes.
leave the TV on. It's loud,
Right.
right? So pick like how many, like the many hours, like 1 hour, 2 hours, you're going to find that there. If you don't have a laptop that you can actually do that, you can go on TV, but no Animal Planet, right?
Right,
No
right, right.
Discovery Channel, right?
Well, and most people have access to even an iPad or something like
Yeah,
that, that they can put a song list, a playlist together, and you can just stack all kinds of whoever lullaby on
yes.
there, and just it'll be just a rolling. And I think you can also do that like on my phone. I can do it on repeat where it just
Yes, I
keeps
have a
playing, keeps
playlist for
playing.
Maya. Yeah.
Yeah.
But on
And
TV, you have, sorry, on TV, you have like
mhm,
soundscapes, you have the
right,
music things, and I choose
right.
soundscapes or medicate or meditation songs, things like that. You don't
Yes.
want classic songs because
Mhm.
Beethoven can be a little nuts.
Yes, that's true.
So
That's true.
anything for babies, like calming music. If you're like into
Mhm.
yoga, you have the mantras, all that stuff.
Right.
Or if you don't like any bands, you put lullabies for babies. My experience,
Yes.
Judy, that has worked
Mhm.
much better than any calming music for dogs.
It makes sense. One thing to talk a little bit more about the calming music, you'll see a lot of tapes out there that are fireworks desensitization, thunderstorm desensitization. And going back to the vibration
Yeah.
aspect, you're not getting what you need to truly desensitize. So I don't use any of those. And there's also smells that need to be considered in this as well, because fireworks, they have a burning smell to them. They have a gunpowder smell. Thunderstorms, dogs can smell those oftentimes half an hour before the thunderstorm even
Yeah.
happens. So, there's so many aspects. So just doing a whoever lullaby, whoever you choose
Yes.
lullaby is truly the answer to that problem.
Yes. Because the CDs,
Absolutely.
the desensitizing CDs, you're dealing with whatever goes on here, but you're not dealing with,
Right.
with that,
With the whole picture. You're
The
seeing
whole
one
And
or one
again, we have a
component.
week, yeah,
Yeah.
and we have a week and a half. We don't have time for
Right.
so let's do
Right.
what is practical, right? So we
Yes.
talked about the sanctuary spot or the sanctuary
Hmm.
place, right? Then we
Right.
talked about competing
The
sound,
sound.
competing
Hmm.
music, and dealing with the vibration, right? Now I
Yes.
want us to talk about pacifiers.
Yes. Such an important component.
Yes,
So
what are
there's different
pacifiers?
there's different types of pacifiers, right? There is pacifiers for the dog that needs to move. Some dogs, they just have to move around. They're really worried about things and they need to be kind of decompressing themselves a little bit. So we can have seeking toys. And those are toys that they might knock it around and knock a treat out of it, and then they have to seek and find the treat. Seeking's really good, just like nose work. because
Yes.
when an animal is seeking, or when we activate the seeking system, everything else goes away. So, how I explain this is if I am going to, let's say I'm going to a wedding and I need a pair of shoes and I hate buying shoes, which is all true, then I will go into the mall and I'm focused on finding shoes, finding shoes, finding shoes, right?
Mhm.
I don't know what's going on anywhere else in the mall. I
Yeah.
mean, there could be, practically a bomb going off, and I'm not going to know it because I'm so focused on those shoes. My seeking system is activated. And that's what we do with dogs when we're doing nose work and seeking um, types of activities or pacifiers for them.
Yes. Yes.
But there's others because we ultimately we want to calm them, right?
Yes. I just want to stop 1 second and talk about nose work,
Mhm.
right? So
Yes.
there's a whole training for nose work and all that stuff, but the beauty about
Mhm.
nose work is that you can do it right now. If your dog has
Right.
never done nose work ever, right, you can do it right now. And one of the things that you can do for fireworks and thunder is get five
Mhm.
boxes, five cardboard boxes, right? Different
Right.
sizes and stuff. I would love for you to get one that the dog can actually go in, like a bigger one and all different sizes.
Yeah.
Get treats that make a sound. So you're gonna get something that is
Mhm.
hard, right? And that when that
Right.
treat touches the box, makes a clack sound.
Yeah.
Put them
Yeah.
all around. I have a video that we're gonna put it up, right?
We'll put it up.
Maya
Yeah.
doing nose work, and you're going to see that at one point she hears the firework and she's like, "What?" And she goes back to the box.
Goes back to yes.
So there's three things
Definitely.
that are soothing behaviors for dogs, right? Nose work, so
Mhm. Right.
hunting, chewing, and licking.
And licking.
Soothing
Mhm.
behaviors. It's
Yeah.
incredibly important for the dog to do one of these three things. Nose work
Right.
is a something that the dog moves. It's a motion thing, right? So the dog
It's
is
an active,
yes,
yes.
and the dog is looking for
Yes.
stuff. Licking and chewing are
Mhm.
stationary things. So that's when
Right.
he goes inside his
And
sanctuary room.
they're even causing more that heart rate to go down and more relaxation to take part.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
And sometimes dogs are so stressed that they lick their paws until until
Yes.
many times. So
Yes.
hunting is look for stuff, meu amor. Oh, there's thunder. Look
Mhm.
for stuff. You're giving your dog a better deal. You want to
Right.
give the dog a better
Right.
deal. Yes, this whole thing is happening here, but look at this stuff, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and then licking and chewing, right? For licking, what what I usually do is I freeze things. So I
Mhm.
have
Right.
a little cup, right, that I like to
Right.
freeze, and this cup that I use, we're gonna upload that too, like
We'll put a picture of it out.
a
Uh-huh.
picture.
Yeah.
It has a little hole. I don't know what that hole is for, but what I use that hole is I tie it to where I want the dog to be. So instead of tying the
Nice.
dog, I tie the little,
Right.
right?
Yes.
I freeze. I'm not suggesting. I'm saying what I do for myself is
Right.
ricotta, ricotta cheese, yogurt, cottage cheese, baby food. You mentioned
Yes.
applesauce,
Yes.
right?
Applesauce. Yes.
You can
Anything
freeze
that the
blueberries.
dog can have that they're not
Yes,
allergic to and that's safe for them.
or the dog
Absolutely.
food. But
Right.
I would like that to be frozen for at least 3 days. I want that rock
Yes.
solid.
Real
The
solid.
dog is working on it and working on it,
Yes.
right? And it's so
Yes.
interesting when Maya was doing that, you could see the ear move when there is like,
Right?
and then she goes back to that,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Or a chewing. In my experience, the licking works much better than the chewing.
I feel the same way. I really do. Yeah.
But they need, if they are in the sanctuary room, they need to
Mhm.
have a spot. They need to have something to do, even if they don't do it right away.
It just having it there in case they want
Yes,
it.
yes,
And I leave those things there. And sometimes I'll
yes,
leave a chew and a couple of different licking options for
yes.
them.
And I
So
like
they
that you
have
say
that.
licking options because the other
Mhm.
option is the licking mat. The licking mat, which
Right.
is frozen. But I want us to be
Yes.
careful with some things that you see out there that might
Mhm.
increase frustration, right?
Right.
So there
Yeah.
are these containers, like you have the little cup that I'm talking about. There is one that looks like a little snowman, and what happens is the opening is very narrow and it's also very
Yes.
deep. So if you freeze something
Right.
all the way down, the dog cannot get to that third tier, you know?
They can't get to it, and that's just really frustrating. So all of
Yes.
this work you've done to relax your dog has now caused some frustration, and you're kind of starting behind the 8 ball again
Yes.
with that, and so you're not in a good place.
Yeah. So you need to be
Definitely.
careful with that. So licky
Yeah.
mats, right? The little cup that
Right?
you're going to,
Mhm.
anything that you can put something in there and the dog can lick and lick. You can even have
Right.
a bone,
And just
those bones with those little thingies, what do you call those little,
yes.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you put
Yeah.
something around, freeze it.
Right. Freezing is really the important thing because
Yes,
freezing is gonna cause them to take a little bit longer
makes it a
to consume that, and it's gonna make it a lot, more effective.
yes. If it's really frozen and the dog doesn't like it, it's okay to put it 10 seconds in the microwave, to
Yeah.
kind of
Yeah,
like
exactly.
that is the most
Exactly.
important.
But but you have a few days, so if your dog is not accustomed to licky mats and licky toys, what you can do now, you have a few days, go ahead and just put the cheese or the peanut butter or whatever in it without freezing it just to get them used to what this all
To
means.
see if it
Um,
works, right? Because if it
yeah,
doesn't work
yeah.
when nothing is going on, it's not going to work when something's going on.
Right, right, exactly. So they need to be accustomed to it. And I guess the last thing, and probably one of the most important things that we can talk about is safety during this time. And I will tell you, my rule is I do not leave the house if there are fireworks going on. I stay with my dog. And just to take away any confusion, we cannot reinforce fear. We
Exactly.
can
Thank you
make
for
them
saying
feel
that.
better.
Yes.
So if I'm standing next to Sandra and somebody walks in with a roach and she's panicking, I can put my arm around her. I can say, Sandra, it's okay. I'm here if you need anything. That's not going to make her feel any more frightened. But you know what? It might make her feel a lot more comfortable.
Exactly.
So don't hesitate to sit with your dog and coddle them. It's
Yeah.
fine. Talk to them.
Help them
It's
cope.
really
You know?
important.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. And the big thing I will say is do not under any circumstance just put your dog outside to go potty during fireworks time. And you know what? During the week of fireworks in my area, because you never know when one's going to be shot off, put your dog on a leash, go out with them because there's so many dogs that are missing during this time of the year.
Exactly.
And the shelters are packed full. There's a lot of dogs being hit by cars and
Yeah.
just lost.
Yes. And they
So
usually run the other, I always tell my clients, they run the other way. You know,
yeah,
it's like you think that they're going to say, Mommy, Mommy, help me. They just take off. They run the other
they're
way, completely
they're
lost.
they're blind with panic.
Yes.
So
Yes.
to protect them from that and just to keep them safe, leash them. Even if you have a fence. I mean, I've seen dogs go over fences
Lock
that
and
could
lock
never
the
do it before.
gates. Lock the doors. I see
Yes.
dogs go through. I work with a dog that he went through a window. The window
Yes.
was open and he went through the window. So the
Yeah.
front door, lock the front door, lock
Hmm.
the gates. Um, Things happen. And
Yes.
please,
Yes.
please, please do not take your dog to see fireworks.
Yeah.
So do
Yeah,
not.
they don't need to see them. And I will tell you, I've had incidents where I've been kind of stuck, and all of a sudden the fireworks are going off. I will put my dog in the car, and we will drive somewhere else,
Yeah,
and just go for a little ride. I mean, you can't. There's a
yes.
lot of things that you can do
Have
just
the
to kind of
calming
get them
music on when you do that.
and turn the calming music on in the car.
Yes.
So, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Subscribe, follow us. We've got more coming up. I think one of our next videos is going to be about dog lullaby music, and we're going to show you a little more extensively how to put all that together. But thanks for
Judy,
joining.
if you're
Yes,
going
ma'am.
to stay with your dog, find something that you like. Find a band that you like, music that you like, because you're going to stay
There you
there.
go.
Right?
That's right. Might as
Yeah.
well. Might as well.
Okay.
Thanks, guys, for
Thank you,
joining us.
guys. Bye.